So they'll be calling you a radical. So what I think's happening with the Utah Jazz is, well, I think it's way deeper than people think. And I had season tickets from the first year the Jazz got here, 79. I mean, we're all fired up, and Maravich was still there. Played a few games. And we were so excited, so we bought season tickets. You know, I was 19. I live here in Ogden. We had a bus that would go to the game called the keg bus with a keg on it. Go from the bars, whatever. So fun, so great. 16-ounce course, $1. I mean, I think hot dogs were $1.50. So tickets. I mean, I have my stub from the first Jazz playoff game in the history. I'm sitting courtside. I'm sitting by Ricky Green and Dale Griffith's wife's right there, and I think it was $12. And I mean, I'm really courtside. I never missed a Jazz playoff game until the early 2000s when I got rid of my. I just couldn't do it anymore. Pricing, it started. I mean, the whole thing started to get disgusting as far as greed. They started walking around yellow coats with beer. I mean, it started to change. The old Salt Palace and the old Utah Jazz fans were so sophisticated. So this is I mean, come on, it's Utah. We're talking one of the great basketball states. I mean, not anymore, but it surely was then. We had 4 powerhouse college teams that were in the tournament every year. 2, 3, 4 of them every year. And then, of course, the Jazz and the fans were sophisticated. They were intelligent. They were respectful. I mean, it was so good. I mean, it's the best bargain in the world. Look what it's turned into. So this whole thing, now I want to go back a little ways. My first protest as the activist, Kevin Blanch, first one I ever went, and I went a lot of. When we were 19 years old, Battlestown tried to raise beer prices to $1.50. So we were smart, me and my friends. We're like, oh no, hell no. And we drank a lot of Coors in those days. And we waited till they were playing Denver. So we knew we'd get some publicity. And we put signs out in front of the beautifully incredible softball. The softball was so grand, it was incredible. Much like Madison Square Garden. So we protested with our signs out front. We knew we'd get media from Denver, which we did. Not only did Battistone lower prices back down to $1, he sent me and my friends over rounds for years. We'd have other friends come, and we'll call in. I remember Dave Checkins himself, clear back then, we'll call him. Hey, Kevin, we'll walk in. He says, you guys are covered. I mean, they cared about their fans then. It was a great product. Ricky Green was my favorite player ever. I mean, John Stockton gets all the credit, but Ricky Green was just as good I think him playing behind Ricky Green is what made John Stockton. Ricky Green was incredible. Doesn't get Adrian Dantley. I mean, it was just a great product. The NBA was a great product. The NBA was incredible. Loved it for all those years. I mean, in the 90s, you take any sports franchise in the United States, I believe from about 1985 to 2000, the highest winning percentage in any sport in the United States was the Utah Jazz. A lot of heartbreaking losses in the playoffs, but such a great product. Got to the early 2000s, greed was starting to take over the NBA. I said, fuck, still followed them, still liked it, but what's going on now? Now, say with me, Larry Moore passed away, who was a great owner, really a great owner. A lot of people don't know this, that Larry Miller had to loan shark money to buy the Jazz. Here's the Zion boys, the Simmons boys sitting on the front row, yay, and the Eccles boys sitting on the. They wouldn't loan him no money. That's who owns Zion Bank. First kid out there. Now he loan sharked it out of Denver, and he was paying interest weekly. He pulled it off. So what a great owner Larry Miller was. I mean, I played fast pitch softball against Larry Miller, and marquee, incredible athlete. Larry Miller wanted to win. He was passionate. Was he perfect? Hell no. But Larry Miller passes away. Gary Miller married the attorney. A lot of people don't know this. And so Kel Miller lobbied for a legacy trust in the state. We don't have a legacy trust. You can't legislate from the grave. She lobbied and lobbied. I was down there, because I'm the anti-nuclear. I'm always in there fighting these crooked politicians. Verbatim. We need this legacy trust to keep the Jazz in the Miller family and in Utah forever. Gets it through. Big deal. Immediately sells it. Who to? Ryan Smith. Where did he get all that money? CIA. Oh my God. It's the surveillance state. Oh my God. This guy is criminal. I think it's much more cynical. And this whole thing that they're tanking, that's against the law, not just against the rules. Now stay with me. David Stern is all over the Epstein list. All over it. David Stern in 2002 when they fixed the game against the Sacramento Kings. By the way, Scott Pollard from here, he had a heart transplant recently. Mike Bibby's coaching our Big Sky League now. That was one great team. They fixed Game 6. Donnie went to prison for it. Under the grand jury indictment, under oath, David Stern, did you fix that game? You fixed the game. I cannot deny that we do have an incentive for teams like the Lakers to win. That's not what we asked. I kept repeating it. He's a lawyer. He's all over the Epstein list. The NBA, I think this Epstein thing and what the Jazz are doing, we see viewership in the NBA has just crashed. I took the grandsons to one of those games, Purple Court games, just because they'd never been. Oh my God, it's pitiful. This guy's standing out on the three-point line. And somehow these young guys will say, oh, this guy's, you know what the players in the 90s would do to these guys? Michael Jordan had 15 rings, the way they play freaking defense. And by the way, the big, tall, skinny guy, whatever, he went up against John Stockton, Karl Malone. He'd be in pieces on the floor. Those guys, that somehow you guys think they're better? No, they're way, way worse. There's no defense at all. It's actually pitiful. And you could see the viewership. It's crashing. It's crashing. Yet these billionaires keep buying them from each other. The NBA's brand, I'm telling you, I think what the Jazz is doing in symphony with Stern being all over the Epstein list is, and then her rigging the lottery last year. You know who owns the Dallas Mavericks. So the Jazz tanking, it's not tanking. It's point shaving. It's fixing game, which is against the law. I honestly believe that the coach of the Utah Jazz ownership should be arrested. Point shaving is against the law in this country. Rigging games is against the law in the United States. That's what they're doing. They're not tanking, they're rigging games. They're rigging. Now, is that just gambling? No. Rigging games, point shaving is illegal. That's what they're doing. They're destroying the NBA? Well, I have a different take than most people. We're going to get a lot. Oh, please. They're not going to get shit. That's why the NBA has the lottery. Why are they doing this? Well, he wants to tear down Bravo Hall. We got to put on the National Register. I believe it's bigger than that. I believe this owner is connected. Well, I know he's connected. What's the three branches of government in the United States? CIA. Am I saying Mossad? Do I think he's trying to destroy Utah? Yes, absolutely. Why would he want to tear down a Bravo Hall? Why would he be doing this? And these fans that are supporting it, what is the matter with you? It's grotesque. And by the way, they've lost a whole generation of fans anyway. My grandkids want no part of this. Well, they priced him out. They turned it into luxury goods. So you've lost 30 years of fans. The 40, 30, 20, they want no part of this. Because they turned it into luxury good. And it sucks. It's terrible. It's disgusting. And so I believe what he's doing is more cynical than just trying to get a lottery pick. And I believe that the NBA, we want to keep them in Utah, of course. there's some other billionaires here, I think that, I mean, could put a consortium together. The NBA's got to force this guy to sell this. This guy's worth, Danny ain't, oh God, that guy is creepy. Go bite somebody's finger or ear off. You know, and so they've been rebuilding since 1998, but this is disgusting what they're doing. And the NBA's brand, oh my God. Oh. I mean, like I said, what he's doing, well, I think it's done intentionally. I can't imagine what they're up to. Rebuilding, what are you talking about? Can you imagine fighting your ass off your whole life as a young player, you know, from the time you're in Little League to, you know, college to make it at the NBA and watching your team lose on purpose? Everything's asymmetric to everything you've been taught since you was a little teeny kid. I mean, I coached for years. I cannot even imagine what's going through these players' minds. They got to be totally disgusted. But I think there should be arrests made. The owner should be arrested. Danny Ainge should be arrested. Point shaving, fixing games in the NBA is against federal law. It's against state law. Well, the FBI, what are you doing, Cash Patel? I mean, my God, it's so derelict what they're doing. So, quit calling it tanking. Somebody says, you know, they post a picture of these 737 and says, yeah, that's some tall tankers. I mean, it's disgusting. They've ruined the product. What they're doing to downtown Salt Lake City. I mean, I don't like that big tin dumb drum anyway, you know, because I like concerts and the Salt Palace was a jam, but, you know, greed. But this is more than greed. This is way more than, I mean, how much money does this guy got to have? I mean, how many billions is he worth? How much did he pay for the Jazz? I mean, it's heartbreaking to watch this shit happen to this incredible, beautiful sport. What a beautiful sport, basketball. We're seeing it statewide, you know, what BYU's doing down there, trying to buy championships. Worship the golden calf on ball. It's so disgusting. College basketball used to be such a gem in Utah. You know, Weber State, Utah State, BYU, Utah. I mean, they were always so good, and it wasn't about greed and money. BYU trying. I mean, it's disgusting. It's way past disgusting. But I truly believe that this is more cynical. Again, you put Brian Smith is a criminal, what he's doing. Danny Ainge, they're criminals. This is criminal what they're doing. Point shaving, this is point shaving by definition. Fixing games by definition. You know, it's against the law. It's so disgusting. They have beer police there, you know. Oh my God, it's so disgusting what this product's turned into. You put this in with the Epstein files, David Stern all over them, you know, the brand is crashing radically. You know, I know Damian Lillard personally. I know Dylan Jones really personally. I mean, franchises like the Knicks, they've got to owners got to step up and say, what the fuck are these guys doing? You know? I don't know, but I don't like this commissioner. Never did. I mean, I'll go back to Larry O'Brien. Was the last good one we had. Love the fucking product. Now look at it. But what I believe they're up to, well, think about who owns the Dallas Mavericks. That's less what? 1.8% chance of winning the lottery. They win the lottery. Look who owns it. Oh my God. Good Lord. So, I mean, anybody with half a brain's like rigged. Remember the Patrick Ewing frozen envelope? This is that on Balco, on chemo. This is going to crash the NBA as far as, the public's done. They're sick of it. Well, I've been sick of it for a while, but this is like the crowning jewel. The NBA has got to. What the fuck does this guy give about a $500,000 fine? I mean, he's a multi-billionaire out of nowhere. Bingo, the great surveillance state. BYU, what's evolved into? Oh my God, it's disgusting. I mean, trying to buy a freaking championship ain't gonna work. I mean, it's heartbreaking because here in Utah, we love basketball. We love it. I mean, the kids, I mean, it's a basketball state. You know, we all grow up with it from the time we're little kids. I mean, basketball is king here. Well, and watch this happen. Can you imagine? I mean, the NBA's got to do something. I mean, they got to force the sell of the Jazz. We don't want them to leave. We sure don't want them to tear down freaking Bravo Hall. You know, this owner's got to go. I really believe Danny Ainge, the owner, these people that are making these decisions should be arrested. Stop calling it tanking. It's fixing games. It's point shaving. It's against the fucking law. It's disgusting. The NBA don't fix their brand. Like I said, we all know about the 2002 Sacramento Kings, David Stern. Oh my God. Fucking, you know, he's all over the Epstein list. So is Mavericks owner. I mean, I remember when it used to be the NBA had to approve who bought these things. I mean, good God, talk about a thumbprint of culture. Basketball metaphors matter. Kobe Bryant, to a trainer that used to train at Weber State, who I know years ago, told me, Kevin, you know Kobe's a lot like you. And I says, what do you mean? Kobe Bryant says, sports will tell you the future before it even happens. It is the thumbprint. He says, basketball will tell you what happens before it even happens. You know, I've always said that. Sport is the thumbprint of culture. Big time, big time. Basketball metaphors matter. Huh. Well, what does this say? What does this say? Okay. They're not tanking. For what? What? There's a lottery. Tanking does you no good. What? Who's in the lottery? Is Michael Jordan laying in there and playing college basketball? We got Akeem Olajuwon? No. It's much more cynical than this. I believe it's cancel culture on Balco. I flew with the plane with Donovan Mitchell from New York here. I didn't even realize it. I says, what's a guy like you doing flying to Salt Lake from New York? He says, I play for the Jazz. Who are you? He says, Donovan Mitchell. I said, I remember you because I was in New York in those days. In high school, I lost track of you somewhat at Louisville. He called it out. I mean, he called it out. Think about that trade. Why would they get rid of freaking Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell for? I mean, that team was good. He called it out, cancel culture. It's an evil form of cancel culture. They're destroying the state. They're destroying this culture. I mean, basketball is the art. It's the symphony. It's the dynamic sport. That's what they're doing. Stop calling it tanking. They're fixing games. Point shave, that is against the law. Stay in tuned.